Great. Hello, welcome to the National Guild of Hypnotists Washington chapter meeting. We're so glad we're here today, and we're so glad that Anna Margolina is presenting in our meeting today. So Anna, go ahead and just introduce yourself and start with your topic.
Hello. Yes, as you can see, I'm from Seattle. So this is my accent from Seattle. Well, actually, I grew up in the Soviet Union, and it was such a different life. And I grew up in a family of scientists. Can you imagine it? Growing up with lots of books and talking about science. I loved it. And then when I became a teenager, I fell in love. And just for a moment, just allow yourself to go there and think about what a special time it is when you are in love and everything changes. And of course, I wanted to talk about it, and I told my mom, I'm in love with this boy. And she said, well, Anna, you need to understand that you are this age when you have all the chemicals, all the hormones. So probably you experience just a big chemical storm. And it was the first time when I realized that my head and my heart spoke different languages. And all of a sudden, there was this disconnect. So today I'm going to talk about this book, A General Theory of Love. And it's such an unusual book because it's about love, but from a very scientific perspective. So before I begin, let us start looking at our emotions. We have this part which is beautiful, spiritual, and psychological. But there is another part, physical part, physiological part, and yes, chemical part. And this is not a logical part. So today I'm going to talk not about mental part, but about this physiological part, about part which can be measured, unlike our emotional part, this part which can be studied. And why it's so important, why we have to know this. Just go again and do this. Think back of a time when you were in love, or maybe you had some exciting experience. Maybe if you have children, your firstborn, you're holding this baby, and notice that if you go into your body, this experience would be not the same if you did not have your heartbeat beating so fast and your skin buzzing and your breathing changing. So why? Why we have our organs, our vital organs, dancing like puppets when something pulls our emotional strings. Think about it. It's the same heart that pumps your blood and delivers oxygen to every cell. When your breathing changes, you still need your oxygen. And if you ever had butterfly in your stomach, if you ever had this feeling when you cannot eat, cannot sleep, it's a physiological state. So how come our organs do this double duty? Who designed it? Who came us with this idea that we use our organs to experience our emotions, and they are so easily can be manipulated? Every time you are emotional, it's in your body. Your whole body is feeling it. And when clients come to us, it's not only because they feel bad, but also because they want to accomplish something. There is the task that they really want to do, but their body is not on board. So as a child, I used to stutter so badly that even saying my name was a torture. My whole face would turn blue. I would clench my fists, my chest would get very tight, and I would often stomp my feet, trying to just push my words out. It was like speaking was a torture. And I was very intelligent. So if you imagine how it felt, having all this knowledge, all this brilliance, and not being able to share. So when I first learned that there is another way of dealing with it, hypnosis, that we can actually change how we feel, and I thought I will try it. And the effect was just astonishing. Even though I still have a little bit of blocks now and then, but I went from this totally blocked state to occasional blocks. So this just blew my mind. I thought, how it's possible? How it's possible that it can be changed? So I started digging, researching, and studying, and I spent years doing it. And this book is a gem because it gives you a different perspective, and it debunks a lot of psychotherapy, just blows it, just totally destroys it. So I love this book. So before I will start talking about it, let me show you something. Do you believe that I can cut a hole in this napkin so big that my whole body can get through? Is it possible? Okay, if you are doing this, and you know you all been to school and you did some crafts, so you know how to do it, right? You practiced it a lot, and you will probably do this, right? And then I will try to do it. I will try to fit, and I'm stuck. You see, no matter how hard I try, no matter how hard I try to cut it really, really thin, it just does not work. It's impossible. So when clients come to us, this is the state they're in. They say, it's impossible. I tried and tried and tried. But what if we change just one thing? Just one thing. You see, the tool I use is the same, right? The same tool. The napkin is identical. The same napkin. And of course, I am the same me. I did not magically change to a master paper cutter. But I will change something. Can you guess what? I'm changing a pattern. Just one thing. I'm changing a pattern how I'm doing things. I'm doing the same thing, but differently. Different pattern. And let's see if it will give me a different outcome. So, who is interested learning it? I am who teach you. Look, now it's easy. What seemed to be impossible, what seemed to be so maddening and impossible, now is easy. So now let's go back to our physiological state. Why we have this strange design that our emotions change our body, can make us very tense, or like me, can grip my throat, stop my breathing, and I will not be able to speak. So imagine yourself and long time ago, and you are a little rat, a little animal, and you are sitting and you found a little morsel of food and you're enjoying it, and your juices, your digestive juices flowing, and you are so happy with this morsel of food. And all of a sudden, wow, there is, we have a person, yes. And all of a sudden, you have to run. And all of a sudden, your blood flows to your legs and digestion stops just like this. Because you need to get away from a lion. You either get away or you are lunch. And then digestion is not an issue. So we can, if you start thinking about our brain, we always think about our brain as this is our brain. Sometimes we think left brain, right brain. But when we talk about our brain, we typically think about this part which can talk, can think, can be logical. And this is our neocortex. So if you imagine a blanket made out of neurons and also fat and blood, vessels and juice, brain juice and chemicals. And it's so big that it has to be folded. So we have those folds in our neocortex. But this is only a cortex. Think about a cortex. But what is the core? If we have neocortex, we have also paleocore, a very ancient part. Hello. Limbic brain, brainstem, and also neurology in every organ. If you imagine the entire body as one brain, when I was a child, I had good friend. And if you had a person with whom you were that tight and used to have all kinds of adventures. So she lived in a building with a code. And I knew it. I was like, pam, 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 the code. And her door would open. One day, all of a sudden, I looked at the keypad and I thought, oh, by the way, what is the code? And they're like, come on, what is the code? I knew it. I did it a lot of time. And then I had an idea. I turned, I walked back, and then I marched back and I punched in the code. And I did it. Muscle memory. But how a muscle have memories? It's not brain, right? So I want to tell you a story about Mr. Underwood, a patient in a clinic. He had a good life. He's been drinking a lot, so much that he destroyed this part which allows us to learn. So he was like permanently marooned on the island of the present. He was constantly confused. Who are you? Where am I? And would you believe it? Researchers discovered that they could teach him how to braid. And think about it, braiding is a complex activity. You have to arrange strings, and he learned it. But if you just asked him, he would deny it. He would say, what is this? Who are you? Where am I? But when you just give him pieces of string, he would do it. So researchers thought, we wonder if our emotions can be trained like this. So they told 3 nurses. One nurse, a good nurse, very attentive, loving, caring, speaking in a nice voice. Another nurse, a bad nurse, rude, unpleasant, never smiles. And the third nurse, just brisk, professional, totally neutral. And then, at first, there was no difference because no memories, remember? But then after a while, after he had some experience, he started favoring the nice nurse. But if he would just see them, he would deny knowing any of them. Who are they? Who are you? Where am I? And yet his heart could remember, even though his neocortex, this part, this cortex was badly damaged and he could not learn anything. No details, no names, no numbers, no memories, no stories. But he could learn with the heart. So you know how they say that people may not recall what you said. People will forget what you did. They will never forget how you made them feel. And this is why. So how this works, how we can remember with our body, with our limbic brain. Have you ever seen those child drawings when they give you a bunch of dots and you have to connect them in a certain pattern? And you have no idea because it's lots of dots. You're like 1 to 2, 2 to 3, 3 to 5, 3 to 4, 4 to 5. And all of a sudden, oh, it's the Scooby-Doo. All of a sudden, there is an image. So it turns out that our memories kind of like this. When neurons get excited, they start being electrically active. And then another neuron gets excited, and another neuron, and another neuron, and they create a pattern. And then if you do it again, a pattern will become a little bit stronger. And then again and again and again, and the pattern will become stable. So start thinking about memories, two kinds. One, stories, details, knowledge. And we are typically very proud of it because we value it, right? We value our neocortex. We are proud of our knowledge. And often we learn that to express our emotions is weakness, especially Russians. Russians, well, people think that we don't smile. That's not true. We do smile, but our smile looks like this. So we learn to hide our feelings. We learn to be tough, to be in control all the time. And that's what I learned as a child. That's what I learned. Don't share your feelings. Don't show your feelings. Don't be vulnerable. Learn to control your emotions. Learn to always be in control. But now we know that our emotions, this limbic brain, the core, is the heart of our brain. It's the only part of our brain which can feel love, which can connect to people. We have our reptilian brain, and this brain is wonderful, very much needed. It knows how to be very angry. Defend my turf. It knows how to be very afraid. And it knows how to feel lust, cravings. But it's our limbic system. It's our limbic brain and our body neurology, our heart, our gut, which know how to move energy in a way that we can extend our heart to other people. we can understand how other people feel. Right now, people are feeling disconnected. And they are feeling disconnected because our culture, unfortunately, as they say in his book, and I experience it, favors neocortex and reptilian brain. Why? Because it's easy to manipulate. Neocortex can be easily manipulated by ideas, can be influenced by words, by concepts, can build castles in the sky. Reptilian brain is very good, can be manipulated easily by fear, by anger, and by lust. Lust for money, lust for food, lust for power. This is all reptilian brain. So why we believe that this is power? No, this is not power. Our true power is our limbic brain, our heart, our gut, every cell in our body. This is our power. This is our driving force. So once again, think about times when you were in love. And this time, allow yourself to go there to a pleasant time. And if you allow yourself to go there, I invite you to spiral all your thoughts. Just take all your thoughts and gently allow them to spiral down until you get into your heart and notice how it feels in your heart. And then if you extend your awareness to your stomach, through your gut, to your intestines, to your skin, notice that this is a full body state. Now think about times when you were on fire. Maybe when you first time realized that hypnosis is so powerful, and maybe you got excited about changing people's lives and how easy it was to study, to take actions because your whole body was on board. But when you think about times when things were difficult, when you struggled, when you procrastinated, when you're like, oh my God, oh, I just don't want to do this, it's so hard. Notice that it was your body that was resisting. And now, as you know, that a lot of our emotional responses, you see, we are born as an open loop. A lot of this is imprinted, and yes, before we even born. Every event, every experience create imprints, responses. There was this terrible experiment when mom, when a little, I just love animals, so it gets me emotional. They took a baby monkeys and they separated them from mothers. And at first they thought, oh, we just will create some device to give milk. All of them died. They could not live like this. Babies had milk, but they died. Then they created like a surrogate mom, that fur, warmth, milk, and those little babies were spending all their time clinging to this mom, trying to get love from her. And the mom would not respond. Mom would not react. Mom was not a real mom. So what? Yes. So when they grew up, they could not love, they could not feel any compassion, any kindness. They could, when they feel enraged, they could just tear apart other monkeys. And when they could not love, but they were artificially inseminated, they could not love the babies. They would just kill them. So this is how we learn that we need love, we need connection, we need this togetherness. We need those times when mom hugs you, holds you, and tells you how much she loves you. We need this safe space for expressing our emotions. We need kindness, compassion. So we learn. We could imprint it, just like I imprinted the code, just like Mr. Underwood could learn how to braid. And just as he learned that this is the nice nurse, even though he could not recall them, but his heart knew, oh, I feel good when I look at her. The same way, we need to go through experiences. It's not just trauma. It's not one event. You see, people spend years talking about the families and looking for this one trauma. It's not so. It's the patterns of emotions that get imprinted, and they are very stable. You see, our neocortex takes time to develop, but this system works the moment we are conceived. It works because now we know that memories can be imprinted into a cell. So from the time we are conceived and go through experiences, we accumulate our patterns. So what can we do with it? How can we change them? So how can we change it? We have this wonderful tool called hypnosis. And what is interesting about it? You see, our experiences are imprinted through our experiences. We have to go through an experience, feel something, see something, hear something, to have this imprint. Now we know that we can create imaginary experience and make them real. We can, through hypnosis, we can go back as far as we need and re-imprint it. And I think it's wonderful. And talking about our issues is useless. Understanding them is useless because they are not logical. There is no logic. They are just imprints. not all clients want to change everything, right? I wish people would say, hey, take me to the moon, right? Take me to my best life. But typically they want to change one thing. And what stops them is that their body is not in the right state because their physiology is just does not match. I mean, if you want to fall asleep, you want your body to be relaxed, right? It's logical, right? You want every muscle to be relaxed. If you want to enjoy your food, you want your digestive juices flowing. If you want to speak to people, you want to feel connections. That's how I learned to speak. I could not before, but you see, when I feel still difficult feeling coming, I still block. So the state needs to match. Nothing wrong with having a feeling. There is no normal people. We all are weird. But we want to have our physiology on board. So when we want to speak, we feel excited, we feel connected. When we want to fall asleep, we are relaxed. And when we want to make love, we want our body to be on board, that's for sure. So how can we change it? Let's do some tema. Who has an area, not big one, I'm not going to change big things now, but who has some area where it's not easy, when you feel like you are blocked, you struggle? So who will play with me? It's okay.
Okay, who's brave enough to play with Anna? She's very, very nice. Let's see.
So you need
I'll go.
to.
Do you want
Okay.
me to go? Okay.
Okay. Wonderful. Wonderful. People like, oh my God. So think of an area in which, like, you consciously know it's silly, you consciously know you just need to do it, but you struggle. It's difficult. That's
Me
small.
is exercise, exercising daily. I constantly want to, and I constantly struggle with it.
Exercise is awesome, wonderful. Now, would you just go back and recall a time when you are about to exercise, but you don't?
No, like today.
Today, okay. And I invite you to think of a slice of time. So if you imagine you're slicing your time, and I need you to find time when you had, like, you changed from this, yes, I want to exercise. Oh, no. When it changed, what is the first thing that changes?
Well, I used to go running, and then there's something happened just to Homish that made me afraid to go outside. And that was kind of my downfall after that.
Okay, so afraid to go outside. So when you think about this feeling, I'm afraid to go outside. And just imagine that you have a bag full of feelings and you can have any feeling, anything you want. What would be good for you?
Well, if I felt safe, I would not be afraid to go outside. So I guess the feeling I'd rather have would be to feel safe. Is that what you're asking?
To feel safe, right? And
Yeah.
now check, is it true? Like, if you feel safe, is it really safe? It's very important.
So I decided that I'm going to be around for a long time and I'm not being taken out by going running somewhere. So I decided that my thought of feeling unsafe was irrational.
Mhm.
And the chances are that's not how I'm going to go. So I decided to feel safe just because of the odds of anything happening to me on
Yeah.
my short run.
So the first thing we need to ask, because it could be like, yeah, fear is good, right? Is there anything you can do to ensure that you are safe?
Well, I bought a thing that is really loud if I feel afraid, and that helped me feel safe. And then I decided that I'm just going to choose to feel safe.
Okay,
That's what I
choose to feel
decided.
safe. You see, we think that we can just think. We learn that the control have to be from neocortex, that we have to be able to do this. It's impossible because
Okay.
neocortex does not create physiological state. It does not do it. It's not its job. It's just not. So if you imagine that you have the best physiological state, have you ever enjoyed moving? Does any movement, not even exercising, any movement at all?
Yes.
Any movement that you love doing, that you just crave doing, as you just feel good doing?
Well, I actually loved running because it made me feel physically strong. I
Yeah.
don't really, that's about the only thing I do for fun.
Well, is there anything that you love doing as a child or movement?
Yeah.
And it was easy.
Oh yeah, my mom would make us go outside every day. Like kids get outside.
Okay.
So we
So
ran around the neighborhood all day long.
you run around neighborhood, anything that you wanted, like was easy to move. A simple thing, like you want to get a cup of tea. Is it easy to stand up?
Yes.
Yes, right. Then easy. Why?
Well, because I prefer coffee. It's
Coffee.
very
Okay,
easy
coffee,
to
coffee.
stand up and go get a cup of coffee.
It's easy, right? And what is the state inside of you? So now go from your brain, right? Don't think about any reasons, right? But think about, check your body, what you need physiologically to just stand up and do it.
Right. It's very easy to just stand up and go get something I want.
Yes, now don't think. We try to think, right? It's
Oh,
almost like imprinted in us. We want to think. Now, just go into your body and imagine yourself, you are sitting on a chair. And now think, oh, the coffee is brewing. There is the smell. Coffee is brewing. I want to stand up and get a cup of coffee. And what changes first? What do you do in order to stand up, to go in from a sitting position to a standing one?
just physically moving your body to be in a standing position.
And what your body needs to do, because it's a different activity, right? If you could check with every organ, imagine you look into your heart, look into your lungs, look into your blood vessels, and hey, what are you doing to get me out of this chair? What is it? What are you doing?
Well, it's like just the physical movement of all my muscles, my feet first coming to the, steady on
Feet,
the
sure,
ground, pushing my chair
yes.
back, pushing my, body up.
Yeah,
Just
yeah,
automatic.
pushing you, and it's easy, right?
Yeah.
So what's interesting that something that is so easy, your body has to rearrange your whole physiology. Blood has to start flowing into your arms and legs. Your heart has to start beating a little bit quicker. There were interesting study. They measured so-called readiness wave, which is all the changes, all the physiology changes, the heartbeat, the blood flow. And they measured the thought, the decision to move. And what was interesting, this readiness wave in the body came before conscious decision to move. It's that fast. When you start thinking, oh, it's not safe, you're giving reasons. But reasons only because you already in a state which say, hey, don't go. So then you start justifying, I don't want to run. So, and we are not going to change anything because this needs a little bit more work. But now we just play, right? Imagine we did some questions, and now imagine we are installing it. We are imprinting it. And you probably know how to go into a trance. And you can just imagine, just close your eyes and imagine going into a trance. And pick up a good trance. You see, everything we experience is a trance, hypnotic trance. We are constantly in a state of trance. So in this state of trance, just go deeper, and you can go really deep. I know this. I know that you can just be there. Imagine yourself thinking about doing movements. And this time, just let yourself just be open to it. What kinds of movements? There is lots of exercises, maybe running, maybe dancing, whatever it is, just let yourself be open to this. And move yourself to this time when you sit in a chair and the smell of coffee brewing, and you just feel the smell flowing into your nostrils and this little smile on her face, and very easily, just imagine floating into the state and moving. And then add a little bit more movement with the same ease, just as easily, and just experiment what your body naturally wants to do. Your body is very intelligent. Your body knows how it needs to move. Your body knows what's good for it. So just imagine that you are a creator of a new way of being. You are repatterning your neurology. And with this ease, smell of coffee, nobody is telling you to go outside. Something it just easily pulls you outside and your body is on board. Blood flows through your arms and legs. Your heart beats faster and you feel this excitement. And now I need some more from you. When you feel excitement, where it starts? In the body.
In my heart.
In your heart.
Mm-hmm.
And what is next? From your heart, where it goes next?
I think my breathing changes, and then
your breathing changes, your heart changes, your breathing. What's next? What it goes next?
well, if I'm excited to go running, then it would be.
Don't think, just stay with the body. Stay with the body, feel into your body. Just breathe into your body, smile into your body and feel. What's next? My heart, oh, be curious about it. What's next? My heart is beating. And now I feel that my breathing changes. What's next? Where the energy? Change this feeling into a flow of energy. There is the real force, electrical force flowing through your body. Where it goes next? Is it up or down?
For me, it's down.
It's down, so move it down, move it all the way down, and move it all the way down to your feet, to your toes. And now allow this energy go out and then go into your crown. And then make it flow bzzz, down, down, down your body again. And then down, 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 down through your feet. Smile into your toes and wiggle your toes. Wiggle your toes and smile into your toes and bzzz, up your spine. And turn this flow into a Mississippi River. Wide, colorful, vibrant. Every sound, make it bigger. Make it brighter. And just hear yum, yum, yum. And I know you want to accomplish something. You know you want to do something with this, being more active, exercising. So see this you in the future. And it's easy for her to run or do any other activity. And look at her and think yum, yum, and feel the smell of coffee and notice how easy it is. And now take a deep breath and lift your hands up, look up, lift your hands up, and let's all do it. Lift your hands up, look up, and say yes. 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 And smile all over yourself.
Very good. Thank you, Anna.
This is how we change the pattern. Thank you all.
Very good. I'll just have to say before we stop the recording that I did feel very energized by that flow, the energy that flowed from my heart down and then back out and through my crown. And I really felt that. It was a really great feeling. And so I think if I could summarize what I think you're saying is I will make a decision with my mind not to run because of all the reasons. But if I actually can meditate and create that desire in my body, then I'll be more compelled to do it than just trusting my mind.
Think about it as pattern, right? You want it easy, right? You want it easy, and it's just like cooking. You want to cook, you put all component. If you want to cook soup, you put carrots, you put potatoes. If you want to cook cake, you put sugar. But if you want to cook soup and you keep pouring sugar in it, and it does not taste good because it's not the right ingredient. It's not the right chemistry. So when we start thinking about it, that we need the right chemistry, and most importantly, we want to come from love, compassion, and ease.
Very good. Thank you, Anna. So we're going to stop the recording now. We really appreciate your presentation. We've learned so much. I have a whole page of notes. Thank you so much.
Thank you all.